This is often an area that is really hard to work because a lot of us have tension in maybe the front of our body or maybe on the side of our body, and maybe just some disconnections with our feet that make it really hard for us to make the most out of our hamstrings, especially for just general exercises. A lot of other muscle groups might have a tendency to get into the way. And so if that's you, you are maybe going to love this little exercise combo that I love to do and I find has really helped me light up my hamstrings. So what you're gonna need is a roller and also a Swiss ball or stability ball nearby. These are going to be our go-tos for this little exercise combo that we're gonna do. And then from here, you can go on to do the other lower body exercises that you'd like, but I find the combination of these two really are just perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're going to grab the roller, your choice of intensity or density for the tension, and we're going to release around the sides and the front of your quads here. And I like to recommend just this little sideways motion, if you can see that I'm doing. So rolling back and forth on the side and then going to the front. And then just do that up and down. And if this feels extremely difficult to start with, I want to let you know I was in that exact place too before my quads were able to be a little bit more tolerable to this. And also over time, my hamstrings became stronger. So this is just kind of in conjunction. As the back of your body gets stronger, the right muscles get stronger, your quads just really start to loosen up, and then doing rolling movements don't feel so bad. And then taking the time to go up and down, finding some niggles. So if you're following along as I'm doing this, that's great because it's just going to motivate you to push through. And then after a few more seconds, I'm going to get you to just apply a bit of pressure in one spot and then just flex the knee and straighten the knee. Flex, straighten. So just do that a few times, and that's going to just help create a different type of sensation. And then we're gonna switch on to the next side, doing both. Don't miss this. You don't wanna have one good leg and one not so good leg. So taking the time, rolling on the side and then the front, and then just going back and forth between the two. And whether or not rolling your body or massage techniques are part of your routine, I find it to be a really helpful way just to kind of discover where you're tight, because these tension spots just give you some form of information. So when you're doing certain exercises, you'll know that those areas of your leg might need to be adjusted, as an example. But I can always explain more details into that in future. But at least for now, you can just kind of take note. And then bend the knee, straighten the knee, bend the knee, straighten the knee. Just do that a few times, going up and down. Okay, so what we've done is we kind of marinated your quads, and it's really given you awareness for this part of your body. So when we grab the ball and we're about to go into this hamstring exercise, it's really gonna make you think twice about these spots because they are important. So to get set up for this next exercise, what we're gonna do is we're going to have our feet on the wall. You've got the option to keep your toes kind of flexed, or you can keep your whole foot on the wall. And then from here, we're going to position ourselves so that our hips and maybe a little bit of tummy is on the ball. So in this case, this is not right. I actually need to position myself a little bit higher up. So I'm gonna go like that. And then you can see my feet, how my toes are flexed. So that's option number one. Or option number two, you can have just both feet pressing on the wall. And this is my preference because it really gives you that foot sensation that you need in order to really feel the right muscle groups. And from here, a soft bend in the knee, holding your hands by your sides, or sorry, on your shoulders like so, to just take some tension out of the back in case you're automatically like this when you get into this position. So you really want to be neutral, and neutral is that rather than that. And then from here, relaxing your body down on the ball, and then thinking about pushing your feet into the wall as you come up. So into this little bit of an extension. And then also as you're doing that extension, you're gonna notice that your quads are pressing into the ball. So it's like another form of massage, kind of like the rolling that we're doing, but this is a lot softer. But having done the rolling before, it just kind of helps. And then relaxing on the way down, and then exhale, pressing into the wall. and then breathe in, come down. And you can play with the bend in your knee. If you want to have a softer bend or a little bit more of a bend, feel free to do both. And I also recommend sometimes to adjust the ball too. So depending on what your preference is or what works for you, just have a bit of a play, seeing if you want to bring the ball a little bit more lower, and then moving through. It is very challenging. It looks simple, and you might not feel your hamstrings right away. It will take a little bit of trial and error. But if you're really thinking about those pressure points, the thighs on the ball, the feet on the wall, you will start to feel them working.